Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to our live webinar of eIMMIGRATION. On behalf of Cerenade, I want to welcome you to this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Vanessa Vargas. Today's topic is how to maximize your investment and use eIMMIGRATION to its full potential. And trust me, there's always something new to learn. We are recording this session and we will upload it to our YouTube channel. It's called Cerenade Academy. If you haven't subscribed yet, we ask that you please subscribe so that when we upload the videos, you have the notifications. Okay, so here are some of the videos that we have uploaded recently. And again, the name of the channel is Cerenade Academy. All right, just click subscribe. All right, so let's begin our training. Like I said, today's topic is how to maximize your investment and use eIMMIGRATION to its full potential. eIMMIGRATION is not just for forms. It's a full practice management solution. And today we're going to show you, of course, the basic steps, but also we want to show how you can, again, use the system to organize your practice and have everything you need and of course, work more efficiently. We also want you to use the reminders and prepare the packages easily. I don't know if you were aware, again, if you're subscribed to the channel, then you should know, but we now have the ability to include signatures and intake forms. So technically you can create a contract and or an agreement and send it so clients can sign electronically. So I'm going to go over that today. And if you're new, if this is the first time that you join one of our webinars, please know that you can send me questions, and I am also sharing this PowerPoint presentation. So if you click on any of these links later, once you download my PowerPoint presentation, you can learn more about these topics. We only have 1 hour, and so as much as I want to go over in detail, it's really impossible, plus it's overwhelming. And finally, I'm going to show you how you can use custom fields, the anonymous questionnaires, and how to schedule custom reports. You must be subscribed to this module, by the way. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, I have a lot of goodies for you today. So don't forget to click on handouts and download the PowerPoint, okay? All right, so step number one, if you're new, and let's see how many of you are actually new, or if this is a refresher course for you. Let's see. I always encourage clients to invite paralegals if they're new because I think it's fair for them to get a training and understand how the system works. But it looks like today the majority of you are existing clients, so that's awesome. All right, so let's continue. All right, so I'm gonna still have to go through the basic steps. So excuse me if this is boring to you, but some of you are new, and I want to make sure I cover these basic 3 steps. All right, so the first thing you want to do is click on the left, create contact. Now, if you're not using this to capture leads or prospects, you're missing out. I think again, the system can be used as a CRM where you can download reports of like how many leads did I get in a month? Are they here because of, I don't know, a social media campaign? Are they here because mostly they're referrals? So I suggest that you use the system to also track your prospects or leads. Okay, and then of course create the contact. I'm going to show you an existing contact to give you an idea. This is an example of one of our contact profiles. So the idea is that you want to create a contact and create a contact and you guys can hear me fine. We're having issues with the internet, but I heard again that it's globally. Let's see. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. I can hear you. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so like I said, step number 1, create the contact, enter the data. Now, if this is tedious and you don't want to enter or type in this format, You can also use our alternate view. And the alternate view is where you can access the questionnaires. And so if you created a questionnaire that you want to use, you can open the questionnaire. In fact, you can also print it with all the data for the client to keep a copy. All right, so again, I apologize for the internet. It's slower than usual. So maybe someone's teaching me patience today. All right, so anyway, so my point is you can also use alternate view so that you can type the information in this format. And for example, let's say she's single and I have her social security number today. I'm gonna enter that and click save. Once I do that and I save this format or this intake form, I get this green bar. I can safely close the form or I can move to a different form. And I don't know why I got that one because I did save. Anyway, so now I see the social security number here and the status. So again, you can use these fields. Make sure that you always save your changes before you move to a different section, and then use the alternate view. Okay, if you want to use that to capture the data. Step number 2 is also linking the family members. For example, I can click link member, either search or most likely create a new contact, but don't generate a number because they're not a client. So leave it blank. Of course, in the future, if they become a client, you can generate or designate a client number for this person, but technically it's just a contact. So I'm just going to enter his name. Let's say his name is Ernesto Ramos, and this is the son. I'm going to enter just, I don't know, the date of birth and select a relationship. So I'm going to go with son and link. So now I know that my client Adamari has a daughter, Laura, and the son is Ernesto, and the mother is Valeria. So when I get to the forms, their data is going to auto-populate. All right. So that's the importance of linking the members as well. Let me know if you have any questions so far. Step number 3 is when you click on cases on the right-hand side and you create the case. You want to create the case because that's where you can select what matter or process. And, you just select. By the way, let me stop right here really quick since today's topic is how to maximize the investment. Okay. E-immigration, I know the name says e-immigration, but you can use it for so other cases or areas of practice. So I don't know if you are aware of this, but you can customize this drop-down menu. We have clients that provide notary services or like translations, divorce cases, so you name it. We have clients that use it for like travel agencies. Like, it's beyond immigration. Okay, so if you want to customize the processes, again, just go into your administrator portal and customize them or rearrange them. All right, so I'm going to select, give me 1 second. I think it's because I picked other. I was like, where are my US immigration cases? All right, so I'm gonna pick the adjustment status. You can have more than one location. I always try to, especially when I do trainings for solo practitioners, I guess I'm an visionary, and I say, well, when you grow and you have like multiple branches across the US, and so, you can have multiple departments and separate cases by location. Although sometimes I get the feedback like, no, no, thank you. I just want one branch. It's overwhelming. But especially using a system like eImmigration, it's a must because you need to have everything in place. Otherwise, I don't know how people do it with so many reminders and deadlines and appointments and forms. So it's a must. All right, so I have my information, right? That's transferring to the forms also automatically. Remember, all this information comes from the administrator portal. I'm gonna click next. I've got my client. Well, if my client is a petitioner and her mother is a beneficiary or the alien, so you're just gonna select the role and click next. This is a new feature. It's called conditional rules, and you have to go into the administrator portal to set that up. For this particular case, I don't have one, so I'm just going to skip. And I see the forms checklist. And of course, I can always add or remove forms. And I create the case. And that's how you get to the actual matter, where you have the forms and the data populates. So we're going to talk about this in a moment. Let me see if someone has a question about the 3 basic steps. Were they clear? I'll just wait for the majority of you to vote and continue. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating. All right, so I already talked to you about alternate view. I do have one question. Okay, go ahead. I'll wait for you to type it. So if you have questions, there's a section where you can chat me since your microphone is muted in a webinar. All right, it says, could you show the process of creating a custom entry on the dropdown? Tell me which dropdown, because if you're referring to the dropdown when I was creating the case, let me go back. This one, right? I think you're referring to this one. All right. So if not, just message me. But uh, yes, correct. Okay. So the way you can create or reorganize this, and you probably don't have access, but if you do, it's gonna be right here. If you click on the right hand side on the top, it says settings, and then you should see administrative tools. If you don't see the word administrative, it's because you don't have access. But anyone in your organization should. But if you do have access, my recommendation is that you right click, open in a new tab. Actually, I love to put it right here. If you're new, I always recommend that you keep your administrative portal open on this tab and then the caseworker on the other tab. Settings, administrative tools, thanks. Yes, that's it. And then go, once you're here in the admin, click on case processes. That's where you need to go. All right, case processes. If I say, you know what, let's use a system for social services. We're going to provide ESL classes in our nonprofit. So I'm going to click insert. Oh, just kidding. I clicked edit. Insert. And then, what did I say? ESL classes. And the area of practice is other. And then just save it. And of course, I already have one. I'll just say ESL classes 2. Okay. Well, now if I have prospects or clients that need ESL classes, I can always track that and how many, what time, or what the progress is, like everything. You can use the system as a case management solution, not just for forms. All right. You could always copy a process, delete, rearrange. For example, if I say, you know what, we need the VAWA case, and it looks like it's all the way at 112. And so I'm going to click select, move to, and then move it all the way up if I do VAWAs all the time. So now when I create a case, I don't have to scroll through this list and find it. It's all the way here. So I highly suggest that if you're new and you haven't taken your admin training, that you do, or if it's been a long time and you don't have access to the admin training anymore, again, go to the YouTube channel called Cerenade Academy. And I know I've done administrative trainings, I think it was like 2 months ago. I'm doing one this month, but just in case you want to watch like a refresher of how to customize the system, then it's right here. Okay. Let me see. That's cool. All right. I'm glad. Thank you for asking the question. That's the reason why we're here doing this training so that you guys take advantage and maximize your investment. All right. So let's go back and talk about the alternate view. And so I already talked about, the importance of, let's go back to the profile. It's in the profile, so it's right here, alternate view. So I already explained how to use the alternate view, but what if you want to see what did you modify? So remember I changed her social security number. If I go to documents and then I click on questionnaires and forms on the left, I see the questionnaires I sent to her. So actually today, someone called me, she wanted to resend them. There's no need to resend the questionnaire if you already have it. So I sent it a couple of days ago. I'm just waiting for the client to submit it back. But for the alternate view, we didn't have a record until recently. And now you can click on alternate view to see what you entered or what your staff entered. So it looks like, again, today we modify this questionnaire or intake form, and it tells you the date. If next week my paralegal uses the same questionnaire or intake form, it's going to show the update on date, and I can open it. Let's see. Oh Lord, this is really teaching me patience today because I want it quick. Okay, so here is the copy, I guess, that shows the date when we modified and what information. It doesn't really highlight it unless, of course, let me close this. I go here and I manually change the social. Okay, let's say that I modify the social manually because she called me, she said I messed up, it's incorrect. If I go back to documents, alternate view, and I open it, see, it only highlights what's been modified. So I can see what I entered on April 5th, but if I click on it, it tells me what we have in the system. When it says original value, it means what's currently in the system, in the profile, so you can compare. So that's when it highlights the fields. I hope you learned something new today. All right, so let's talk about custom intake forms and how you can add your signature to use them as a contract. Let's go into the admin portal and I'm going to click on custom form templates. Again, if you're new, this is probably more advanced, so I don't want you to feel overwhelming. Remember, we overwhelmed. We are recording this training, okay? So you can watch the video later, and we have videos specifically on how to create questionnaires, okay? So what I want to show you today is if you go into the admin under custom form templates and click on intake forms, any questionnaire that you have created, or you can actually use the ones we have, but let's say that I created that questionnaire or intake form for a contract and I need their signature. So I'm going to use that one and edit. And make sure that the signature is the last thing that you add. You can't add the signature and then modify some of the fields. So wait until you're completely done with this, and then you're going to click here, signature, and it's going to add it here. So I'll just put sign here and save it. If we look at the preview, they're going to complete the agreement or read through the, enter whatever they need to enter. And then at the bottom of the contract, or they're going to have the sign here, and it's going to be, let me just save it. Well, I need to work on the translations. I'm just going to disable the translations for now and save. All right, so now that I updated my initial intake form, let me send it to Adamari. And just to make sure, Adamari has her cell phone, her email, although I could technically also send it via WhatsApp. Okay. Now, if I go to create questionnaire and send it to Adamari, I am going to select send it with a passwordless link, or I can send it to the client portal. I'm going to select the questionnaire. Now remember, you can also add translations to your questionnaires. So if I want to send a questionnaire and I want languages to be available so clients can receive it in Spanish, or just make sure, because this week someone called me and he sent it in Farsi, and his client, she submitted it in Farsi. So make sure that you tell your clients that they have to type in English. We don't provide the translation for the entries, okay? All right, so now I'm going to select the questionnaire that I want, and then say send it to Adamari. And how am I going to notify her? Well, I'm going to send her a text message or an email or copy the link and paste it, like I said, WhatsApp web, or I'm just going to send a text message. Remember, for SMS, you need to have a subscription. All right, so I'm going to send a text message. I do want to notify or remind her maybe once a week or once every 3 days. Send her a text message and say, don't forget you have a pending a pending agreement or pending questionnaire. Or let me log in as her because I don't have, that's not a real cell phone. So let me show you what happens when they log in. Okay, I think that's the password. Let's see. Yes, okay. So I'm just showing you what happens when you send it via the client portal as well. When they log in, they'll see their mailbox and the questionnaire will be there. And well, they need to open. They see the information that you have captured so far. If there's anything that we missed, for example, their maiden name, just put Gonzalez and maybe the correct date of birth. Anyways, so, but at the bottom, well, what I want to show you is the signature. So sign here. They're going to click and either upload if they have an image, draw it with their finger or mouse, and then or type it, and then click update and wait. Once they do that, I don't know why it goes all the way up. All right, here we go. So now we see the signature and then submit. They can print it. Let them know to print before they submit, because once they submit, it's gone unless you reject it and send it back. Okay, so let's take a look. Clients send the questionnaire or the contract back to us. Well, number one, you get an email from Cerenade. Number two, you see this indicator on the top right corner. It says questionnaires and forms. And again, technically it's a form. And we see it right here, the name of the client. It's going to say agreement, and we're going to open that, and let's wait. We highlight the changes. So I see that she entered the maiden name. I see the date of birth. Remember, it's going to show me what was there before, right? And or what do we have in the system currently versus what she entered. And at the bottom, we see the signature. And that's it. So now I can print it. Or all right, let me know if you have any questions. By the way, for the translation, if you want to add translations, let me quickly go back. Well, let me go back and wait patiently until this loads. Oh, you know what? This is interesting. I'm gonna make a copy. You can accept or delete the pending intake forms. See, I'm also learning because this is the first time that I use this signature and go back to add the translation. So I'm just gonna save and close for now, and rather make a copy of it and add the translation. That's why I told you to add the signature at the end. Otherwise, again, you're gonna get that error message. But let me show you. If I go to the system questionnaires, or the ones that eIMMIGRATION includes, if I want to use any of these and say, you know what, I'm going to use the I-485 questionnaire, I'm going to copy that one, and I want to add a translation such as, let me enable it, Spanish. And I'm going to click review. So I translated the questions. I just need to click save or submit. I think it's a submit. Yes, submit. And now I can save it, and this is going to be my Spanish version of the I-485 questionnaire. Okay, save and close. Let me know if you have any questions about custom intake forms or translations. But I'm going to move on to another feature that I think is going to save you so much time. Speaking of the I-485 or N-400, if you go to form defaults and click add form default, I'm going to pick the N-400, click find. And by the way, our team is working, it might be ready, I'm not sure, but they're working on updating because there's a new version, and you know how fun was April 1st for us, with like more than 50, 60 new forms. All right, thanks USCIS. So here we are. I want to customize a form and say, you know what, every time we do an N400, we want to have all these questions already marked with a no. It's a lot easier to simply select a yes or switch a yes than having to click, click, click for every single question for every single client. So you can have a default value for a form. I'm reading a question. It says, for the form defaults, do we have to manually do them every time there is a USCIS form update? Yes. I am so sorry, but we can't decide for you, like change this, or because again, we are not responsible, or we could be liable. So you do have to, thank you for the question. You do have to go back to your defaults, and that's why we tell you there's a new edition, or so make sure that you configure, I guess, your default values. I put the link on my PowerPoint presentation so that you guys can learn more about these features. So just click on form defaults, and then you can watch the video or follow the instructions, okay? I want to show you, for those that are new, what happens with all the data. Okay, I already created a case. I have sent her the questionnaires. She sent it back. I already have confirmed the correct information. So now what? I have the case here. Let me open a form. When you open a form, and again, I don't know if you noticed, but I open another tab so I can access the contact profile. Or if I need to access the mother's account, she's the beneficiary or alien, I can have multiple tabs open at the same time I have the actual form open. Okay, so the data populates. I have everything populating from the contact profile. And I can overwrite if I need to. Say, for example, I want to have my own mailing address instead of the client's mailing address. That's fine. You can do that. Law office of, but I'm not going to modify the system. I want to keep her actual US mailing address, but you can always overwrite. Okay. If you made a mistake, you can fix it or undo, which is what I'm doing. If I want to change something like, I don't know, let's say, I think I saw her date of birth on the first page. Yes, right here. So let's say that I need to change the date of birth for the mother. So I go here, switch to her actual contact profile, change it, which I'm going to select this and save it. And now if we go back to the case and refresh the form, it will populate the correct date of birth. So what I did, just really quick, I switched to the tab where I have her contact, the corresponding, right? Because I was working with Valeria's information. So I went to the corresponding profile, I updated the date of birth, and I clicked Save Changes. Now I just have to switch back and refresh. The way you refresh is by using the Select Party button, the red one. So I click there twice, and then replace by clicking on the name of the person. So I'm working with Valeria's information. I click on Valeria's name. And that way, I am updating the correct info. So I don't have to worry about changing the date of birth on every single form. All right, let me know if you have any questions about that. You could also add a post-it or sticky note. Please confirm your date of birth. You could type anywhere by clicking on the keyboard. And I want to drag text. What else? The system reduces the size of the font. If you have exceeded the limit, the system creates the addendum for you. Or you can manually do it as well. If you click on the A, you can say, you know what, let me change the size of the font to maybe 7. Or I hope that you're noticing that this is purple-ish or grayish because this has been customized. Okay. You can, if you want, customize information to the specific field. So by creating custom fields, you could also map them to the forms. Today, I'm not going to show you that because it's more complicated and we already have a lot of info prepared for today. But I want you to know that if you create custom fields, you can map them to the forms using this. So if you're taking notes, just write down form custom data population. And that way you can watch the video later on. But that's the reason why it was kind of like purplish. All right, so with the I-45 or other forms, when there's like additional entries that didn't fit, click at the end of the last page and then on the red button, just click edit additional entries. And the system allows you to pick, okay, well, I do want the arrest history. I don't want this employment. I don't want this address. Or you can customize it. Um, and then I'm going to click save. And the system populates the corresponding page part item number. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, it's the same question for the custom fields. Do we have to manually map them every time there's a USCIS form? Yes, it's the same. I know I wish that I had a different answer, but that's the way that, yeah, that's the way it works. Because again, we don't know if that's the same value or the same custom field that you want to use. Maybe the law changed and now you don't need to provide that information, so things like that. So you do have to go back and remap them. Thank you so much for, again, participating. I'm going to close the form. Please let me know if you have questions about the tools on the forms because we have to move on to the second portion of our training, which is, let's go back. E-immigration helps you work more efficiently. Let's see. So reminders. I get this a lot, like, what do I use? Like reminders, process steps, logs. Use whatever works for you. That's the benefit of having all these tools in the system. I mean, my recommendation is if you're going to use reminders, make sure you customize them. For example, don't use just task or deadline. I think that's pretty vague. Be more specific. Pedirle al cliente sus documentos or declaration draft or, you know, court hearing prep appointment with client. Be super specific because when you get that email or text message, you know what this is. Let me know if you have questions. All right, so let's say that we have to prepare the client because he has or she has a court hearing, and that preparation is going to be next Friday. We want to send an email and a text message um, a day before at 7 a.m. No, it's too early. Let's do 2 p.m. All right, so let's send them. That's too late. 9 a.m. works? Okay. I love reminders and I didn't even know other categories were an option. How do I add options for week? Oh, I'm so glad. You made my day. Honestly, thank you so much for participating. Just because of you, I'm happy and I appreciate you. So yes, go to the admin, click on types, and then click right here, excuse me, case reminder or client reminder types. So you can customize all these drop-down menus. Same thing for notes. Don't just use like general comment or, I think, what are the categories when you guys, I think when you create one, it's like when you have a new system, it's just general or like billing or, it's so big. So maybe again, you want to be more specific. Like these are my consultation notes, or we had a conflict of interest. That way you can run reports based on these categories. This is wonderful. I'm literally trying it right now. Good. That's the reason why I encourage clients to have two tabs open, your admin and your regular portal. When you're working, you don't know until you get there. Like you don't know what you know. So it's the same thing like when you are creating a reminder and you realize like, wait a minute, we don't have one for ESL classes or we don't have one for, so you can just create that. Let's say we have again a court hearing. When is this due? Well, we have the court on the 19th. Let's send a reminder on the 18th at, we said 9 a.m. What am I doing? Oh, right here. All right, so who's responsible for this court hearing? Vanessa, but I want to also send it to the client. So I click on the, I don't know if I did it too quick, but on the right-hand side, I clicked on these three dots. So then maybe my assistant and maybe the client as well as the daughter, and that's it. We then, I mean, both of them have cell phones, so then we just send an email as well. Again, you can choose if the paralegal or caseworker that you want to CC is not here, you can search. And I'm going to do the same thing for my client and her daughter, or and I can also search for other clients that are not present. And of course, draft your reminder. Court hearing is next week or is tomorrow, blah blah blah. And please don't judge me because I never get to type right when I'm live. All right, so save changes. Here we go. The purpose of creating reminders, of course, is like mental sanity, like you don't go crazy, but like honestly, if you use the tickler, this is your general dashboard. This is where you guys can see what's going on. And so I actually have my tickler, and like the first thing I see in the morning, that will be my tickler. If you want to know how to change that, it's right here. Go to your user preferences. Each of you, even inside of the organization, each paralegal or caseworker has the option to select what's your default start page. Maybe you like to see your calendar. Maybe you like to see the tickler. So you pick the default page option. Okay. Now, what is a tickler? Is a general dashboard, which by the way, you can customize. You can have your own, um, layout if you want to have like different versions of the tickler. I'm going to use a default right now. It shows me my data unless I click here to show the data for all my staff members. So again, think of it like a helicopter view. What's going on with our firm regarding process steps, regarding reminders, expiration dates, billing information. It's actually loading right now, so give it a couple of seconds. Let me refresh again. There we go. Uh, Trying to use the default one. Anyway, so again, this is fully customizable where you can say, you know what, I want to see the next 20 days or the past 5 days. If we have anything overdue, um, give me that information. Like yesterday was including the 5 days. So it tells me what we need to do and who's responsible. Any notes and the dates, and of course I can click on the link. Now, I really like this because, hey, you know what? It looks like these two, we want to modify the dates or change them. Now the new due date is going to be on the 12th. So I don't have to do it one by one. So I'll just apply. And now my due date says the 12th. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions about the reminders. Also, process steps. The way you can track your staff's productivity is also by using process steps. And the way I see it, if you have turnarounds, like maybe the paralegal quit, how do you know what's pending? What's coming soon? If you tell them to use process steps, at least you know what's a task and what's a target date. So I know that I need to do these two tasks today. How do you use the process steps? Well, remember we created a case. Let me use any of these. We created a case, and we have the process steps over here. Think of it like your timeline or a workflow, or I don't know, to-do list, whatever you want to. Or I also call it my cheat sheet because I know exactly if I was a new paralegal, this is the way my roadmap. What do I need to do? Okay, we finished, billing. Let's file the case with Service Center. So anyway, so the way you can work with process steps is by modifying them here, and you can customize them and delegate. So if I say, you know what, we need to complete the forms, let's start next Monday, and we have only 5 days to complete. So by April 13, we need to have that ready, and who's responsible. If this box is checked, I will get an email reminder on the 13th if I didn't finish the forms. Now, if you notice, it falls on a Saturday, and I don't work on Saturday, so I'm going to switch that to the 12th. You can manually change that. Of course, when you guys are done with any of these tasks, let's say Benita finished this, but we never enter the end date or completion date. We can just say we finished that, we did that. So now we know, who did that and when they finished that. So again, it's a good mechanism to track productivity. Of course, we don't have a way to control. You have to rely on honesty and transparency. We can't really block this or lock them. Your staff is able to extend or modify. Just beware. Um, you could also run a report. If you go to your reports, we have a standard report that if you click on cases, it shows overdue process steps. So I also recommend running this report. I mean, obviously, so here, for example, I can say what was the target date either between the first and then today, or maybe until the 19th, and show me all the process steps that are due between those 2 dates. And of course, you can click on the link to go to the case and see, okay, we need to create a payment plan. Let me just do it. So it's a lot quicker and faster by using the process steps, in my opinion. But again, let me know what you guys think. Now, another feature that I really, really like, and it's going to help you automate things, is called activities. When you create a process step, let's say we need to do this. Well, actually, this is overdue. Uh, let's say this one. Okay. We need to send a questionnaire. We're going to start next Monday. Our target date is the 10th. And who's responsible? Again, you already know that. But what if I want to add an action or an activity? So I click on activities. Looks like we have one already. And the reason why it says completed is because it says when this process step starts, send the questionnaire. So I don't have to do it. It's already sent. Why? Because I have an activity. Let me open it. The activity says, when the process step starts, send the questionnaire to the alien and send this questionnaire. Where did it? Which questionnaire did I send? Interesting. It doesn't really say. Maybe we didn't pick one for this test account. But let me add one more. Okay. When I complete the step, I want the system to add a note, add a case comment. And it's going to say questionnaire was sent and received. I don't know. So the type of note, remember, you can customize this. It's going to be, I don't know, questionnaire or update or whatever you guys want to use. And then the actual note, questionnaire sent, and save it. But remember, my action or activity says when the process step is completed, which means when I go here and I click done, we send it, we just received it, it's done. That means that if we go to the logs, there's going to be a note questionnaire sent. I don't have to do it. It's already added. I'm smiling because honestly, this is going to save you so much time. I really hope that you guys can take advantage of these features. So if you are new, please download my handout, the PowerPoint, and I have the link right here. I know it's a lot of information in 1 hour, but that's why we are recording this session and we have these links and we have technical support. I'm going to show you what options you have for resources support. Okay. All right. So I already talked about that. Let me explain what the client overview is. We have both. We have client and case overview. The case overview, you cannot customize it, but it has everything you need. Like, when did I create the case? Who's the attorney? What forms have we worked on? How long I spent on forms? Blah, blah, blah. Everything. Like the documents that you have received, all your process, everything in one place. Okay, so it has everything that you can even print if you want a record and put it on their file. All right, so that's the case overview. But if you want to customize the client overview so that you know exactly, like, for example, under the general info, I just care for these information. Give me one quick second. Sorry, give me one quick second. I'm getting phone calls routed to me. Okay, so I was saying that the client general overview section, is limited because this is only what I need to see in her picture, and maybe I want to see the current address or cases that I'm working on. Like, you can customize the the client overview if you click on user preferences, and then on the right hand side, go to client overview. For example, I have an empty block right here. I'm going to remove that empty block and use that space because I want to see the logs, but not every log. Just show me the logs that have to do with RFEs. And if I hit on my keyboard and you press Control, you can do more than one category. So just give me important updates and RFE related. I don't care for the importance or well, maybe the type, but show me who updated and when they updated that comment for, and then of course the filter. You don't want to see every single thing. Just show me the ones for last week. Okay, and I'm gonna apply, save, go back to my, I don't think she has any updates, but let me use this client. I know she has. All right, so let's go back. I'm gonna refresh my screen and go back to my client overview. Notice that we do see the logs for this test. Maybe I should have kept the type to see if this is a RFE or an important update, but at least I see the note and who modified that and when. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions about how to customize the client overview. I want to show you the letter templates and the document assembly. I mean, for those that are new, eImmigration offers e-filing. But if you don't want to file it online and you want to send the package, let's assume that we have worked on the forms, and under the document section, we want to use our cover letters. Well, if you go to the letter section, and I'm going to use this one really quick, like documents, you can generate documents that auto-populate, for example, the name, the address, the date. Let me use another one, like this one. See, these are called tags. If you insert the corresponding tag, the system is going to populate the name, the first name, the today's date, what else, like the date of birth, the cell phone. So these are examples of tags. Where do I find these tags? Right here. Under tools, it's called tag helper. So I can go to the tag helper and say, you know what? I need to populate the say individual clients. Um, I'm going to say phone number. Okay. What phone number? The cell phone, the day phone, evening. So I'll say cell phone. And I'm going to copy by clicking here on the left, copy the cell phone tag. So I don't have to type it. And on my document, I just paste it here. I'll just put it right here, cell phone, and then save it. Now, if I preview, it generates the number. Although I had it right here, but you see what I'm doing. So imagine if you have letter templates that you guys are manually changing, just copy paste them here in the administrator portal under letter templates. And that way you can just use the tag helper to save time. All right, so it's letter templates in the admin portal. The idea is, well, I have the forms, I have my cover letters. Let me create the package with all the evidence. If my client has uploaded, her passport, her birth certificate, you can have your customized documents checklist, and you can share with your client or print a paper if they're not tech savvy. I mean, if that happens and they're not tech savvy, give them at least a list, right? So that they see what they need to bring to the office. acta de nacimiento. Like I like to translate that so they don't keep asking, and I tell them foto de pasaporte, or I need to be more specific, just PDF. But the idea is that if you need to scan the evidence, then use a batch upload. Under the tools, click batch upload and literally just drag and drop if you have two monitors, or select the files that you want to include here. Okay, now let me show you the document assembly. When you click on document assembly, we're going to prepare the package. So let's say this is the adjustment of status package, and I'm going to select the forms. I am also going to select the evidence. Well, I don't have any yet. And the letter templates. So I just have to select and click on the blue bar in the center, and then I can drag and drop. My passport goes here. I don't need this form. I want a cover letter here. I want this here. So you can just drag and drop. Prepare the package the way you want it. You can indent a couple of forms and then create a table of contents, and the system is going to update the page numbers according. And once you have the table of contents ready with the page numbers, you click Save Changes, and you can either email the package or download it. Now you can download with a footer, caption and the numbering as well, and then initiate the package. I suggest that you redirect so that you can see when it's ready for you to download. When you are ready to download, you click here, download file. Keep in mind, we remove them after 5 days. So like this one we're very close. So I need to click download, and it's going to download the whole package. All right, let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm not gonna wait until it opens. Let me show you the next slide and last one. All right, so this is pretty cool. Let me see, it looks like someone has a question. Can you please go over in brief how e-filing works? Yes, of course. Let me take you back. Well, first of all, see if you have it. If you click on settings, go to subscription details, check if your organization or law firm has e-filing. You should see an expiration date. If it says NA, that means that you're not subscribed. Just contact our sales team so they can tell you how much it would be to upgrade. Now, if you do have e-filing, scroll down to see that you actually have access to e-file, because maybe your administrator blocked you and it says none. So tell them that you need to e-file so they can enable it for you. And when I mean enable, I mean from the admin, go to users and click on access rights. Now, let's say, yes, I check, I do have access. What do I do now? Well, if you want to file a form, I'm just going to use the 765 as an example. Um, so I finished the form. Remember, we are transferring the data from the contact profile, so don't enter data manually. You're going to save the form. Everything is ready for me to file online, and I need to click on lock. See, on the left, there's a lock. Click to close and protect the form. Now that it's closed, I can click on the right-hand side. It says status ready schedule. So you want to schedule the form, but some of these fields are mandatory when you get to the website, the USCIS website, for example. I need to have this selected. If you do the I-589, it's the same painful process, but this, again, there's nothing that we can do. You know what? I don't know why it's not showing. It says place of birth. All right, so I'll just select Argentina again. Anyway, so you do have to make sure that these are selected. I'm just gonna select B2 and B2 and save and schedule. Okay, now that I have everything here and I schedule it, see how it says scheduled? All right, so now I'm going to click on tools and then e-filing. If you're new, and again, I know your email address because you registered for today's webinar. I'll send you an email with all the details about e-filing. Okay, let me just write it down before I forget. E-file email. All right, so what I'm gonna show you really briefly so that you need to install the component. We have a user's guide that shows you how to do that, okay? And you do need to install, if you have a Mac, you need Parallels to use it. But basically, once you install and you are ready to file the form, what's going to happen, you're going to enter your website name. Mine says Cerenade. It's going to ask you for the website name. You have to log in. You have to click on the form. Of course, if you click on the DS-160, it will take you to the Department of State website. But if it's the 765, it's going to connect me to the USCIS website. And you do need to have the credentials, right, for the client. When you log in, the differences are you're going to see a toolbar that says populate data. When you click on populate data, it will transfer the information from eIMMIGRATION to the government website. And it's one page at a time. Just click next, and then again, populate data, next, populate data. So one at a time, okay? Let me know if you have questions, but like I said, I'll send you an email with all the details because I didn't plan on showing e-filing today, but I'm glad that you asked, okay? All right, any other questions? Please click on your screen to vote. Okay, I've got more, I got the majority of your votes, so I'm gonna continue. Thank you so much. All right, so the last portion was how to create custom fields. Why do I need to create custom fields? Well, if you look at the contact profile, you have limited fields right here. What if you want to ask more? Like, what's your full name in native alphabet? Is this the first time that you're here? How did you hear about us? So again, you can use the system as a CRM and create questionnaires asking these questions so that you can analyze your marketing efforts and see, all right, no other questions. You answer all of mine. Oh, great. Thank you so much. So when you need to create a custom field, you have to access the admin and click here, client custom field, and then just create it. Again, I'm not going to go into detail because we're running out of time, but I want you to at least be aware that that's an option. And when you're ready to create them, if you need help, you can always contact our technical support team. But again, take advantage of the fact that you can create as many custom fields as needed. And you can also, like I said, map them to actual forms. Okay. I want to show you the anonymous questionnaire because I feel like it's going to help you save so much time and make more business, gain more clients. Why? Because then you're automating things. If you click on create questionnaire, select the option that says anonymous questionnaire. Instead of you sending a questionnaire, what you're going to do is create a link called anonymous questionnaire and put the link on your social media page or your website with your logo, of course. Your prospects or leads, they're going to maybe translate the intake form, enter their information, and submit. They're going to get a code and complete the questionnaire, which, by the way, it could be a very simple questionnaire like, number one, how did you hear about us? What services do you need? When would you like to come in for a consultation? Things like that. And later you send them a specific questionnaire based on their needs. But at least you capture their data and follow up instead of wasting or losing a prospect because you were too busy to take their phone call or send them an email. So that's my suggestion. Use the anonymous questionnaire to save time and also money. I mean, if you think about it, we have nonprofits that do these clinics during the week, and they have volunteers that use their cell phones or tablets without necessarily, like they're not using a license, they're not paying for the license. They just help you with the anonymous questionnaires, right? Well, lastly, I want you to maximize your investment. If you are subscribed to reports, my suggestion is that you schedule them. The way I see it is like having an assistant because I can receive an email on a daily basis, weekly basis, as a PDF or Excel, and then I can say, you know what, send me how many cases did we get this week. Start sending this report on the 8th until the year 2028. and then send it to my staff. Even if they're not using the system, I want them to get this Excel on a weekly basis to know how many cases do we have, how many appointments do you have, how many invoices are pending or past due. So imagine, again, if your accounting department doesn't have access to immigration, it doesn't matter. You can send them an Excel spreadsheet weekly, uh, with the invoices to check or call clients and remind them about the payment. Again, this is, in my opinion, a must. But again, if you're not subscribed to custom reports, you're not going to be able to use it. All right, so that's it. Let's go over some of the areas that you're probably not aware of. And I have these links again on my PowerPoint presentation. Don't forget to download it. And it's going to show you, like, for example, here, if you have e-filing, you can also import data from the CBP website, things like that. How do I get help? Well, call us. But if it's closed, send us an email. We have an email support option as well. You can also click on your home screen that says technical support and send us your questions, send us your feedback. We have a user's guide. We do these trainings for free on Fridays, except on holidays. We also have a podcast, a Facebook page. I mean, literally, there's no excuse. If you didn't contact us, we can't read your mind. That's the only thing we're missing here. Um, we have a YouTube channel. We have people that want to help you, but you have to contact us. These are some of the questions that you kindly sent prior. One of them was, how can I create and send agreements for signature? I did cover that, but I put the link right here so that you can watch the tutorial video. And I also recommend that you use the passwordless intake forms. Remember, you can go into the admin to customize those forms. What are some automations the system has? Well, we talked about activities, we talked about process steps and how you can customize them. And like I said right now, like custom reports that can be scheduled and shared, the reminders as well. We also have, if you have billing, the option for your client to provide the credit card information and the system can process the payment automatically too. So we do have, and these are just some of them. Oops, sorry, I went too fast. My mouse has this. Okay, so interested in learning more about Tickler. The Tickler is our general dashboard. I also talked about that. But as a reminder, this is where you can see all the reminders, process steps, expiration dates, billing. So this is your dashboard that can be customized per each caseworker. I have the link right here so you can learn how the Tickler works, or this link takes you to a video. And lastly, running reports. I know I explained custom reports and how you can schedule them, but if you don't have access to custom reports, at least you can use the standard reports and you have a lot of reports included. For example, show me my reminders. How many reminders do I have for court hearings or in general? But just show me the ones that I have. So I'm gonna pick my name, but I don't want to see, yeah, I don't have that specific one. Show me just the ones for this year and maybe until May. And that's my birthday. So let's click search. It looks like I only have 3 and I can click on the link and then take care of it. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions about the reports. And of course, you can download as Excel, PDFs. These are the upcoming trainings for April. And just click on the link to register like you did for today's webinar. And that's it. I really hope that you can connect with us and subscribe to the channel. If you learned something new today and you want to do me a favor, talk to your staff and tell them to please go to YouTube, search Cerenade Academy, and subscribe. My goal, let's see if we can help me get to 2,000 subscribers soon so that more people know about e-immigration. Okay. And that's it. I hope that, again, you learned something new. Please let me know if your questions were addressed during the webinar today. And if you have to disconnect, I know we went over 5 more minutes, but thank you so much for your patience and have a great weekend, everyone. Don't forget to download the, thank you for voting. Don't forget to download the PowerPoint presentation, okay? So that you can get the links. Oh, thank you. Have a good weekend too. It was good to see you here today. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the eclipse on Monday. We won't see that until like, I don't know, 300 and more years. So enjoy the eclipse on Monday. All right. Take care, everyone. Be safe.